These are the canals of Xochimilco on the outskirts of Mexico City. They're all that's left of a once vast wetland, home to early indigenous American settlers and an abundance of thriving plant and animal life. Much of that life has disappeared, but the wetlands are still home to a rare amphibian found nowhere else on Earth, Abastoma mexicanum, or the Mexican ajolote salamander. And that's what we're here to find. These days, however, spotting the critically endangered ajolote in the wild is nearly impossible. Scientists say their precipitous decline could be a warning sign of an ecosystem on the brink of collapse.
The axolotl is a perfect example. It's an amphibian with a permeable skin. It can easily detect changes in the environment, so this species indicates to us if an ecosystem is healthy or if there is a problem.
Xochimilco is almost completely surrounded by the urban sprawl of the Mexican capital, a metropolis of 24 million people and constantly growing. The wetlands of Xochimilco have become a last refuge for dozens of native and migratory species. These ancient waterways also serve to separate the few remaining chinampas of pre-Columbian Mexico, a form of wetland agriculture developed by the Aztec civilization more than 400 years ago. Chinampero Juan Vanegas says he's witnessed as ajolote populations have declined over the years. He blames pollution and a culture that he says has no respect for the environment.
It makes me feel nostalgic. How is it possible for the hand of man to become so destructive? My grandchildren ask me what will become of us when the water is gone. I tell them that's why they need to study, because the reality is that Xochimilco's destiny is to disappear.
Finally, a closer look at Xochimilco's famed ajolotes. These two were bred in an aquarium, as the introduction of invasive species, pollution from runoff city water, and acid rain are among the factors that have devastated their native breeding grounds. Ajolotes are quite easy to reproduce in captivity, which is good news for conservationists who are breeding them in pools like this one and reintroducing them into the wild, where their populations have all but disappeared. Ajolotes are just one of more than 2,000 amphibian species facing extinction, according to the World Wildlife Fund's latest Living Planet Index report, which outlines widespread declines in biodiversity, pointing to a loss of wetlands as being among the key drivers of this decline. For many in this region, saving the ajolote also means preserving what remains of a centuries-old way of life.
The ajolote is a cultural emblem of the Xochimilcas, and conservation of this species is an important part of their identity and their history.
According to the World Wildlife Fund, over the past 40 years, more than 85% of the world's wetlands have been lost, threatening the existence not only of the ajolote, but of countless plant and animal species. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.